The push to ban plastic straws continues, as the city of Santa Barbara, California has passed a city ordinance that allows jail time for improper straw distribution. As somebody who works in the service industry in California, I can tell you that the average person has not been too enthusiastic about these new changes. Alternatives to straws are difficult to come by, and many people don't feel comfortable drinking straight from the glass. Then there is also the question of how this will affect disabled patrons who cannot drink without the assistance of a straw. Sure, they could still ask for one, but the server shouldn't have to wait until the customer realizes that they don't have one and have to track you down to ask you for one. I can tell you that most people ask for them anyway. Many restaurants have happily adopted strict policies when handing out straws, as it helps with operating costs. According to the ordinance, first offenders will be given a written warning after serving a customer a straw who didn't ask for one. An additional offense would lead to up to a $1,000 fine and or 6 months in jail. I can't help but wonder how they plan on enforcing this law. Will it be enforced like ABC laws, where underage people are hired to attempt to purchase alcohol? Yes, that does happen, by the way. If the gas station attendant, for instance, serves them alcohol, the employee is hit with a massive fine and they typically lose their job. A proper allocation of resources, wouldn't you agree? That's why I can see it happening with straws. Government employees hired to go to restaurants and report anybody who gives them a straw when they didn't ask for one. That does seem like something that could happen, doesn't it? The ordinance requires secondary approval, and if granted, the ban will go into effect July 1st, 2019. With this ban, there will also be a ban on giving out to-go utensils on takeout orders unless they are specifically requested. This could be inconvenient to people if a reasonable alternative is not quickly determined. You might already know this, but there are biodegradable, non-plastic utensils out there, but to give them out for free with each order isn't going to be cost-effective enough for it to become a likely practice. Next, let's talk about everybody's favorite Ubermensch, Mark Zuckerberg. How do you do, fellow humans? I just want to help you stay connected.
You kind of need to remind yourself that you need to focus and try not to let stuff bother you as much as possible. But it is going to bother you because you're human, and I was human. I am human still. But I was just referring to myself in the past. Not that I was not human.
Mark Zuckerberg has consistently become a figure that the internet pokes fun at. After all, who can forget when he was interviewed before Congress and was sitting in a booster seat? I didn't know he was that short. I don't think I've ever seen anybody that needed a booster seat to talk to Congress before, but I'm sure it's happened, right? This has not been a good year for Zuckerberg. The Cambridge Analytica controversy personally cost him billions in a matter of days. Just this last week, it has been reported that Zuckerberg has lost $16.8 billion, at least according to Newsweek. On top of that, the company has been doing everything to appease people like Merkel, people who prioritize cleaning up online discourse over taking care of their own people. I think they've been way too busy trying to cater to these people that they actually forgot about making the site better. It's an afterthought, which is why more and more people are leaving the website. After all, who wants to meme and have their grandparents and cousins comment on it? Things are getting worse for Facebook and Zuckerberg. With those and other things having been mentioned, Facebook's top lawyer, Colin Stretch, yeah, that's his name, has abruptly left the company even after leading Facebook's investigation into Russian election interference. That handful of ads on Facebook really turned the tide, didn't it? Colin Stretch was quoted as saying, "There is never a right time for a transition like this, but the team and the company boast incredible talent and will navigate this well. I am committed to doing my part to assist with the transition and will stay on through the end of the year." That's not all, however, as another article has come out today about Facebook's investors gearing up to fire Zuckerberg. I wouldn't expect them to pull it off quite yet, but Zuckerberg has been rumored to be selling his shares in mass quantities. If this is true, he will be out of the company willingly before too long. Why all of this criticism from the mainstream media all of a sudden, you might ask? Did you think he was on their side, that he has done everything that they asked? Well, it wasn't enough. He made the apparent bad call in saying that he was not planning on censoring people whose posts didn't line up with history. They might just get it wrong, he said. As you might imagine, the media has been running with this, saying he has an obligation to prevent certain posts from getting traction. It's strange to me how recent this was, and now all of a sudden, Facebook's decline magically increased. Kinda makes you wonder. We will conclude with President Donald Trump tweeting out earlier this morning about Twitter shadow banning users. As a result, shadow banning is now trending on Twitter, with many people calling the shadow banning a hoax. It is anything but a hoax, as Gab's Andrew Torba has demonstrated. There are various ways that certain accounts are disconnected from threads they comment on, giving the user the impression that no one is interacting when they actually are. You have to actually go to the person's profile to see the tweet, and it will not appear in the comments thread. This allows certain skeptical voices to be removed from the public arena, and it also allows the flow of the conversation to be controlled more by the company. As you might remember, the blue checkmarks sued Trump for blocking them on Twitter, which led to places like Twitter being determined public spaces. They said strange things like, "You won't get away with this. What about the First Amendment?" when Trump blocked them. This act of theirs might have put Twitter in danger, and as a result, their own safe spaces. Now that Twitter has been determined to be a public space, I don't know that Twitter as a private company does have the right to throttle and suppress certain posts. I can't help but think that this is going to backfire on those who thought filing a lawsuit because they got blocked would be some sort of victory. He won't get away with this. No one is above the law. They speak like they're some sort of heroic figure, as if they're some sort of modern-day Conrad Kaepernick. It just makes me laugh. Obviously, no one even stands in the same category as heroic people like Conrad Kaepernick, eager millionaires who drop to their knees when the national anthem plays. That's just, you don't see bravery like that anymore. Well, that'll be it for this video. I'll leave links in the description below for everyone who wants to read the articles for themselves. Thank you for the support and the viewership, everybody. I will be live streaming tonight at 12:30 a.m. Pacific time for the midnight show, as usual. Come by and check it out if you're up that late and have nothing to do, if there isn't anything else better on. I have also updated the Teespring gift shop, adding an Extreme Skydiving at Sunset shirt. There's also Patreon, which has a lot of my content linked to a Mediafire account where you can download audio versions of the Midnight Show live stream, as well as my short comedy videos that I use. If anybody has an idea of something they would like to see on Patreon, or like to see as a common practice, as a way of keeping you guys more informed on what stories are coming, feel free to let me know. I'm open to criticism. I'd like to hear what you guys would like as much as I would like to provide said entertainment. Just trying to get an idea of what people would like versus what I'm able to provide. But that'll do it for me today, at least until the live stream. So here it is, your moment of clarity.
You will not replace us! You will not replace us! You will not replace us! You will not replace us!
Oh, I'm gonna hurt you! You have a mask on!
I don't know who created Pokemon Go, but I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
Well, yes, the whole night.
Well, I don't know why that's funny. I mean, did you have any in-person briefings? I don't find it funny at all.
Including FBI officials looking into whether national...
I'm Hillary Clinton, and I approve this message.